right now on 5 on your side at 10.
We begin tonight in storm alert. The severe weather threat continuing to hover over this holiday weekend. Severe weather sweeping across the bi-state region tonight, from quarter-sized hail battering homes, the funnel clouds in the metro east, to a flooded interstate. This surge of dangerous weather sweeping across the St. Louis area and just into our newsroom. We have a video of the moment an apparent tornado made its way into New Baden. This is from a storm chaser who saw the funnel cloud-shaped cloud as it headed towards a rural highway. A viewer who lives near tells us the winds took out power lines and caused fire crews to close off the road there. Good evening, I'm Mark Maxwell. Mike Bush has tonight off. We remain in that storm alert right now. We'll be in a tornado watch for at least another hour. And damage reports have been coming in from across the bi-state over these last few hours. We've got team coverage. Laura Barczewski is in Melville. Annie Krall is in South St. Louis. But first, let's get right over to our meteorologist, Gary Frank, with the latest information about these threats and what they mean for the rest of tonight. Gary?
Yeah. Good evening, Mark. Obviously, we saw that wide area of storms that moved through, create a lot of wind damage and multiple tornado warnings for hours upon end. We've seen most of us right now with that tornado watch that has expired. So I just want to first and foremost update you on that, because while there are a couple of counties here that are still kind of involved in the larger tornado watch on the Illinois side, most of them are not involved in that at all. They're still kind of hanging on to that tornado watch officially, but still, we're in good shape the rest of the night, so I don't want you to worry about that. What I do want to point out is how we had this line of storms that was started off with areas in Franklin County and St. Louis County that had that line of storms as this moved off to the southeast. That was our first tornado warned storm, and that was the one that caused the most significant damage to start off. You'll see where most of that rain has settled in, and it's moved through. We're all clear now. We had to deal with a small flooding threat, but watch how that line of storms evolved from west to east. That's where we had that tornado, that radar confirmed tornado. Then this turned into a linear area where we had 70 to 80 mile an hour wind gusts and multiple embedded tornadoes on the leading edge of that line, especially in the Illinois side. And as we just follow the storm reports along, you can see we're starting off in Eureka, Pacific, south of Wildwood, along 44 into Melville, Arnold, Belleville. You'll watch the path of that storm. That's where we saw that tornado and wind gusts as well. What we're going to see the rest of the night is much quieter conditions, and overall I think we're going to see, as temperatures have fallen, quieter conditions and temps in the low 60s. But we'll walk through how this storm evolved over the course of the afternoon and what we can expect the rest of the week.
And tonight, cleanup is already underway for some people living in Melville. Just hours ago, the community took cover when a tornado was confirmed by radar from the National Weather Service. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski is live in a neighborhood just off I-55 after seeing some extensive damage. Laura?
Mark, these neighbors tell me they feel like they could actually see a tornado coming right for them. That's on Morningdale Place, where we are right now. It came for their houses, trees, cars. All of it took a beating here in Melville.
Lisa Arndt says she and her family were having a laid-back evening Sunday at home when powerful storms tore through the Melville area.
All of a sudden, my husband screamed, "Run!" and we grabbed the dog and ran down to the basement. But before that, I saw the water swirling around and hitting our window, and all the leaves and tree branches and just kind of swirling around our house.
This tree was snapped in half and tossed onto the road near Morningdale Place and Valleyside Lane.
A lot of trees in this neighborhood. It's a beautiful place, but yeah, it's a mess right now.
And the mess only gets worse as you drive down Morningdale. These two neighbors had some of the worst damage. A garage destroyed on one side, and the entire left corner of the home next door was brought down to the ground, tearing up their backyard and bringing down the power lines. Katie Piles lives across the street.
And then we heard a woof against the house, and then all the doors opened because of the air pressure inside. Then we ran to the basement.
After it passed and the rain was still coming down, everyone came out to check on their neighbors.
And everyone's okay, healthy. The fire department came, checked and made sure everyone was okay.
And the damage didn't stop there. Even further down the street, shingles were peeled off roofs, car windows were broken, more trees came down, and random things were picked up and thrown into people's yards.
I've now inherited a kayak, so whoever is missing an orange kayak, they can come get that.
Arndt says it's a miracle no one was seriously hurt.
We were singing "Send Me an Angel" by the 80s band Real Life, I think it was, yeah. And I truly believe that we had an angel wrap their wings around our home.
Well, neighbors tell me the power is still out for a lot of them, and they're not exactly sure when it's going to come back on. It may be a little while. They haven't gotten an update here very soon, but they are still hard at work cleaning, patching up those roofs, and they probably will be until they head to bed tonight and into tomorrow. Reporting live in Melville, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
South St. Louis is not the only area in need of cleanup after these storms. Many of you have been sending in your weather pictures and video from across the bi-state region. In the Metro East, people saw high winds and rain. These pictures coming from viewers in Swansea and Columbia, Illinois. Take a look at that. These storms also bringing in a lot of hail, everywhere from Florissant, Missouri to Belleville, Illinois. Some reporting hail as big as tennis balls falling in their front yards. As the storms came through, the rain also packed a punch, causing water to rush over these roads in South St. Louis County near Grant's Farm. People in Valley Park also had to deal with flooding on roads there. One of the worst cases of flash flooding hit South St. Louis as first responders rushed to save people trapped in their cars. 5 on your side's Annie Kroll joins us live near I-55 at Loughborough after speaking with some of those impacted drivers. Annie?
You would never know, Mark, but just a few hours ago, this highway was a swimming pool of water, and some of those drivers were trapped in their cars, and they had traffic blocked both north and southbound on I-55 near where we are at Loughborough Avenue, and we were here even before the firefighters. This footage that you'll see is southbound on I-55, and you'll see a white pickup truck stuck in that water as the poor driver just tries to get his engine going again, eventually saved by St. Louis firefighters who were here by 6:30 this evening. It's a spot on I-55 that has had problems before, which is why part of this current construction is trying to make sure this doesn't keep happening. Sunday drivers were frustrated and frankly shocked at the depths of the water on the road right in front of them. You want to tell us why you're driving through here?
Yeah, it's all flooded down there on the highway, completely flooded. The scene is just like a foot or 2 feet of water. It's all the way up to that guy's knees, and it's just constant rain.
After looking at that flash flooding, I can't tell you just how incredible it is. This highway has cleared up. We've been driving all over the Metro East to Belleville and Dupo, and there's been a lot of branches down there as well. First responders with Clinton County telling us that just in the last 2 hours, there still has been no structural damage, thankfully. Reporting live in St. Louis, Annie Kroll, 5 on your side.
Tornadoes also ripped through parts of Texas and Arkansas, decimating homes and neighborhoods. At least 15 people are dead tonight. NBC's Priscilla Thompson has the latest on those search and rescue efforts.
Tonight, dangerous storms continuing a deadly tear across the country.
And the fans have been told to exit the grandstands and seek shelter immediately.
At the Indy 500 today, severe weather delaying the start of the race. Fans evacuating as lightning moved in.
Oh, there it is. Go, go, go.
It follows a violent night of deadly storms.
When it hit, it was just so loud.
Dozens of tornadoes ripped across the heartland from Texas to Arkansas, killing at least 15 people, including 2 children.
We're in it. I can't do anything.
Cover your head. In Valley View, Texas,
I don't have service.
Officials say as many as 80 people were trapped in this rubble when the gas station they were sheltering in crumbled.
It's here. Everybody running into the bathrooms and getting down, getting low.
It was crazy. It was loud.
The severe storms and tornadoes leveling entire neighborhoods. This is where the front steps of this house once stood. As you can see, it has been completely knocked off of its foundation. The entire second floor gone as a family of 7 sheltered inside.
Everything was shaking and moving.
Next door, Yolanda Vasquez says she clung to this doorknob as the twister tore through. What were you feeling?
I was feeling that I was going to die. That was my last day being alive.
In Claremont, Oklahoma, the Spinks family rode out the storm in their basement.
You know, he's worked so hard on that room.
They both worked their butts off for this house, so I feel really bad for them, but it's going to work out.
Okay, bud. It's tough.
Severe weather patterns have terrorized parts of the country with dangerous flooding, damaging winds, giant hail, and deadly tornadoes for the past month. With more than 400 reported twisters since the start of May, the most since 2019. That threat continuing tonight.
I know the people here,
and I just, it's just heartbreaking.
Harrowing images there. Locally, Ameren reports nearly 32,000 customers are without power in Illinois, many of them in the Swansea and Belleville area, and in Missouri, nearly 26,000 homes lost power. Oakville hit especially hard with more than 1,000 customers still in the dark tonight. You can stay with 5 on your side for weather updates on air and our website, KSDK.com, also the 5 Plus app. If you text weather to 314-425-5355, we'll keep you updated, sending notes right to your phone. Coming up, a deadly shooting near the City Museum in downtown St. Louis. What we know about that victim tonight.
I think you can go to bed relatively free of worry because this storm has moved through. We have a break, and there are a few storms that'll fizzle out off to our northwest, but what it's like for Memorial Day. We'll also talk about how things transpired and how we went from round 1 to round 2 as we wrap up our storm coverage.
Breaking tonight, within the last 2 hours, we learned about a deadly shooting that happened in St. Louis. Tonight, police found a man shot in the head on Lucas. They say he was in his 20s. That's all we know so far about this shooting. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. Another deadly shooting left one man dead and 2 others hurt in downtown St. Louis. Police responded to that shooting at Lucas Avenue and North 15th Street just before 3:30 this morning. That's near the City Museum and Europe nightclub downtown. Police say 4 people were targeted. Paul Kai Jr. was killed. A man and a woman were injured and taken to their hospital. We don't know their names. Another woman was there at the same time of the shooting, but she was not hurt. Right now, police are still looking for who fired the shots. Memorial Day preparations got a head start. Hours ago at Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery, thousands of young people honored fallen service members at that special ceremony there this morning. Local Boy Scouts placed flags on graves a day before the holiday so the cemetery would be ready for veterans' families to visit tomorrow morning. This is the 75th year for this flag-laying ceremony.
It has grown into over 181,000 graves, and it is a legacy that we're very proud of. It was one of the first ones started in all of the national cemeteries, and we plan on continuing this legacy.
Today's observance included a wreath laying, speeches, a moment of silence, and taps. And as a reminder, the annual Folds of Honor campaign sponsored by Schnucks is now underway. You have until this Tuesday, May 28, to round up at the register. All that money raised goes towards scholarships for spouses and children of fallen and wounded service members and first responders. And 5 on Your Side is a proud partner. All right, it's been a busy day of severe weather all across the region. Gary Frank has been tracking it for us, our meteorologist. Gary, what are we in for the remainder of this night?
Well, it's quiet, and the tornado watch has essentially ended for just about everywhere. So you don't have to worry about going to bed, worrying about everything. But this was obviously a 2-round storm. We've talked about this. The Weather First team has been in tracking this 2 rounds on Sunday. And would round 1 affect round 2? Would we get clearing? And I want to show you how this set up, right? Because as we started to see those storms develop throughout the day, I want to show you from our visible satellite and infrared perspective here, because it showed that first round of storms in the morning, and then here was the boundary that those secondary storms fired up on later on. And that's what I want to show you here as we show you the radar perspective here. This line of storms along this frontal boundary, and that's where we had that line that was probably the most severe as you went from hey, it's going to rain in the morning, we may get a break in the afternoon, and then I think the severe threat's pushing south. What changed was the fact that not only did we have the heating of the day that was pretty significant, but we saw some other ingredients that kind of pushed a little further north. Earlier, the first round of storms kind of pushed the ingredients to the south. You didn't quite see that severe weather that was around. That was the first round of storms that Tracy and Scott were tracking this morning. But as we look at this line, that's where we had the most significant wind damage. As we started our first tornado-warned storm of the day, that was just outside of Pacific, just outside of Eureka, and it tracked all the way through. And I'll let this loop again. You can see where we had this kind of hook that developed, and that's what was our radar-confirmed tornado. We followed that, and then the storms became more linear. And as they did so, we had those leading-edge tornado warnings that we talked to you about 4 hours, where we had multiple tornado warnings, multiple spin-ups, and you follow the hail, you follow the wind damage that was essentially along that storm that started right about there. You can see where it started right along 44. before. Watch the larger hail that we said, golf ball size, maybe tennis ball size hail, and also a lot of wind damage as well. That continued into Belleville. That was significant wind. And then as we saw that downburst wind threat between 70 to 80 miles an hour, you saw that in Breeze, you saw that in Carlisle, and then we were even into Clay County with Salem. We had some issues with wind damage as well, maybe even greater than 80-mile-an-hour wind. The National Weather Service will continue to survey some of these in the next couple of days. Even though it's a holiday, they're going to get out there and take a look. So to prove that everything is quiet into the overnight hours, there's a fizzling storm coming down from the northwest. I could see maybe Pike County getting that into another sprinkle, but overall, things are going to be much quieter as you head into Monday. It's going to be pretty nice. Temperatures in the low 70s. We're headed to the low 80s in the afternoon. Sunny conditions overall, and I think that's going to be the big story for us here as we continue to look at clearer conditions now. And guess what? No storm alert days, no issues over the next few days. So your holiday is better 80s. We're looking at 82 degrees, 81, and then even a little cooler by the middle portion of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, mid to upper 70s. No severe weather. And then we'll have a few chances for scattered showers and storms as our temperatures build in the low 80s for the race weekend. But at this moment, after a busy period of several hours, things are much, much quieter.
Hey there, I'm Paul Cook, your traffic guy from Today in St. Louis. It's time for On the Move. MoDOT is looking for your feedback while investigating rising crash patterns and pedestrian incidents around the Route 367 corridor in North County. We attended an information gathering meeting at Riverview Gardens School District to hear concerns.
What are the issues that people see, whether it's people driving too fast, pedestrian safety? Those are probably some of the examples that we've already heard a few times this evening.
We're talking about the area of Route 367 from 270 to the Halls Ferry Circle. What kind of concerns are they hearing?
We've definitely had an uptick of people getting struck, and so we're just looking for ways to make things safer. So again, we're just trying to gather a lot of information tonight, and we'll come back to the public later this summer or fall with some suggestions of improvements.
MoDOT has $4 million in safety funds to spend on this project, and they hope to have it complete in early 2027. You can give your feedback on this and see more information about the new safety improvement plans at MoDOT.com or watch my reports weekday mornings on Today in St. Louis. Paul Cook, 5 on your side.
Coming up, these silver screens just won the gold, the national honor bestowed upon Belleville's Skyview Drive-In this weekend. You don't have to go very far to see America's best drive-in theater. It's right here in our backyard. 5 on your side's Mercedes McKay pulls back the curtain on how the Skyview Drive-In won national accolades, and she takes a look at something else the Belleville Theater is celebrating too.
My grandpa up there, my grandmother, and my mom.
Black and white photos reveal the pivotal role movies played in Steve Bloomer's childhood.
The drive-in was built in 1949 by my grandfather and his 2 brothers.
A family tradition, one might say, with Bloomer now starring as owner for the theater on North Belt West.
There are other drive-ins that might be a few years older than ours, but I don't know if any of them can claim to have the same management, the same family running it for all that period of time.
While the Skyview Drive-In still holds a nostalgic charm, a lot has changed since 1949, the most recent being the words on the marquee sign.
That was really kind of exciting to be able to say to people, yeah, you're going to the #1 drive-in in the country.
The Belleville Drive-In named the best drive-in in America by US Today, beating out 20 nominees.
Somebody asked me, what do you get for this? I said, well, bragging rights.
Those bragging rights made possible by the community the Bloomers have always called home.
I posted it on our Facebook page. We send out like 7,000 emails on a regular basis. And within 2 days, we were from 12th place up to 1st.
Not only can they now call themselves the #1 drive-in in the country, Skyview is also celebrating 75 years here in Belleville.
We have some wonderful customers, some regulars that I see on a regular basis out here, and we're really happy for their support.
Support that hasn't wavered since 1949. And as for the man who took him to his very first movie and built the legacy he holds today, Bloomer believes his grandpa would be proud of the new letters on their marquee sign.
He would be overjoyed, yeah, and his 2 brothers as well.
In Belleville, Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
And the celebration of their 75th birthday and this big national spotlight might save you some money. Skyview Drive-In is offering some deals over the next few weeks. You can look for those details on our website under the As Seen on TV section up on KSDK.com. Coming up, imagine beating cancer 3 times before your 12th birthday. How a St. Louis County boy wanted to give back. A young St. Louis County boy exercised his entrepreneurial spirit to do some good today. Drew Patchen is 11 and a 3-time brain cancer survivor. He wanted to give back to the pediatric cancer organizations that helped him through all of it. This morning, Patchen set up a lemonade stand, braving that rainy and windy weather to raise money for St. Jude's and the Bennett Project. His mom says she's blown away by all the support her son has gotten so far.
We sold already about $1,000 worth of lemonade online, and even this morning, we don't know how it was reached, but someone all the way from Belgium sent a donation for a virtual cup of lemonade. We had never expected to be reached internationally for this cause, but so grateful.
St. Jude's is that pediatric cancer facility based in Memphis, and the Bennett Project based locally, a nonprofit supporting kids with cancer. Cancer couldn't keep them down. This crazy weather couldn't keep them down. Quite an inspiring kid there.
Absolutely. We're still, fortunately, we're going to bed a lot quieter. The one cell that we're still seeing some stuff pop up behind this is creating some bigger hail, and you'll see that's north into Shelby County. This out of our area, and generally it's moving south and away from us. We'll watch it for a little while. I think overall what you're going to enjoy is a nice Memorial Day holiday with temps in the low 80s. Quieter conditions as we kind of clean up from some of the damage and power outages that have disrupted us here over the last 6 to 8 hours, and really even longer in some cases as we've had some of those morning storms. After that, though, quieter conditions are ahead, and that's what we're expecting for the rest of the week.
All right, Gary, thanks. That's all tonight for 5 on your side at 10. Kick off your morning with Today in St. Louis starting at 4 o'clock. Now here's Frank Cusimano with Sports Plus.